Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to some of the final videos on Act 7.2. We are running 7.2.6 flare and physical energy and critical resistance. So just jumping right into the path, all the defenders here are gonna have 90% physical resistance, energy resistance, and as well as critical resistance. And also your attacker is going to have flares, so your attacker will gain 300% attack, but but will lose his HP by 100% over 60 seconds. And this degen is affected by class relationships, so if you bring in class advantage champions, the degen will be reduced. And there's going to be another node by the name of buff synthesis armor up along with precision. So whenever you have an armor up and you have a precision on you, you can get that by dexing, or you can get that by ability of the champion as well. Both of them will be converted into a true strike, and when you have a true strike, that ignores all the resistances there are. So the whole concept is bring up an armor up champion, and then you can convert the armor up into true sight with precision buff synthesis, and you can ignore all the physical energy and the critical resistance here, that is 90%. Now other champions that work very well are going to be damage over time champions, also true strike champions. Nullifiers are also great, and there are a few cheese options that I've mentioned, so you can use them as well. The boss is going to be a Gwenmaster with the PowerRush node, so more on her once we get into the fight. So let's jump into the part guys, and make sure to smash that like button and leave a comment down below and turn on those post notifications. All of that really helps me out a lot. Now the first defender is going to be a Daredevil OG. I'm going to bring in Archangel because Archangel does a lot of damage with his neurotoxins combined with flare, and also he's a mutant champion, so he has class advantage against him, so he can make very short work of his fight. You can also use champions that have built-in regen or that can heal up, so for example Gilly 2099, Black Widow Clairvoyant, Angela, as well as Ghost with Hoodie here because they can negate the damage. So yeah, it can be a very quick fight. Just bring in a champion with class advantage and you're set. Next one is probably the most annoying fight on this path, that is going to be against a Havok. So make sure you bring in a tech champion who has an armor and as well as a power drain. Do not bring in power lock champions. My champion is going to be a Gilly 2099, so all I'm trying to do is to build up to an SP1, and then I will dex, and you will notice that I just got a true strike, and once I have the true strike, I can do more damage and ignore all the resistance, and then I'll get my armor up back as well. And I'm gonna spam my SP1 to keep his plasma charges down so I can kill him off. So yes guys, that's all about it. Once you have the true strike on you, the flare damage kicks in with 300%, and you can really kill off the defenders fast. Only technical part here is to make sure to have an SP1 when your armor is down. If you don't have an SP1, then your armor should be up, and that's about it. You can easily kill him off just like that. Next defender is going to be a Spiderman Stark enhanced. Now I make a mistake in the beginning that I take some hits. I think I take some more again later, so I lose a lot of health. You can easily solo this fight with the Hyperion. All you need to do is to parry, charge a heavy, and then use an SP1 in between by cancelling it, and that damage will kill him off very quick. And Spider-Man Stark enhanced has low armor, and he takes a lot of damage with these damage over time effects, and plus with flare those damage over time effects are also increased their damage. So same concept, you can use a venom here, and the usual champions that have regen that can counter the flare node also work here. So you can also bring in Ghost, Black Widow Clairvoyant. Actually the Black Widow Clairvoyant is a cheese for this part, so you can use her as well. So yes guys, that's about it. Damage over time champions work really well. Or armor up champions, you can just dex and get a precision and convert it to a true strike, and you can kill off the opponent as well. Now next defender is going to be a Nightcrawler. Now with him, try to switch him early. Once you switch him, then it's quite easy. His specials you can easily evade, and because Gilly 2099 has armor, so every time I dex Nightcrawler from the special or just basic attacks, I get a true strike, and the true strike will do some great damage on him. Another great part about Gilly 2099 is the regen that you get. So even if you're fighting with a class disadvantage, or if you're fighting with the same class, once you get down 15%, the regen kicks in, and you can bypass the regen from the node of flare, and you can still survive the fight. But again, I am using it as a class advantage, and I can easily kill off the defender right here. And then you have Wasp. Now Wasp is a bit difficult with her evade feature, so you need to bring in a champion that can counter that. So remember, there's an evade feature, there's also flare, and there's also resistances. So you need a champion that can counter all of that. In my case, it's going to be a Mole Man. So now with Mole Man, I will build up to 8 monster mass, and then I will purposely let the defender hit me in my block. So my frenzy is activated while having true sight, and then it's all about throwing my heavy and SP2 and killing her off. You can also let her bait out her specials or use a heavy attack, so the evade can go on to cooldown, and then you can attack back in. Again, you can do this with any champion that has regen. You just need to be a bit more patient. But if you have a champion with true strike, it becomes much more easier. You bypass the resistances as well, and as well as she will not evade. If not, just bring in an armor champion, like for example somebody like Colossus or some other armor champion, and like Gilly 2099, and wait for her to attack, and you just swipe back, convert it into a true strike, and then you can lay into her. So there are quite easy and other methods to bring her down as well. The final fight on the path will be against a Ronin. Now you will notice I have nullified the resistance buffs by Black Widow Clairvoyant, so you can use other heavy nullifiers like Doom as well, and as well as Dr. Voodoo. And once you have that down, it's just about hitting them and killing them off before the flare nodes kill you. And also with Black Widow Clairvoyant, when she is in her bleed immunity, you can use an SP2 and gain that health, and that health is gain is increased by the flare node by 300%. So she is a very good cheese, and she will not cost you any units. You can run the whole path with her. Just bring a counter for the Havok fight, and you're set for the whole path, and you can keep the other 3 champions for your Gwenmaster fight. Now before we jump into the actual Gwenmaster fight, there is going to be a Gwen pool. You can use this fight to ramp up your champions. For example, you can use it to ramp up Gilly 2099. You can use it to get another charge on any other champion. So you can use that fight, and then you can change 2 champions to work for the fight. I usually like bringing Heimdall here because sometimes you are very near to finish a phase, but you are about to die. But if you have Heimdall, he gives you invulnerability, and that helps you finish the phase before you die. So the next champion you come in, you can go into the next phase. Now, again, the first phase is going to be Emma Frost insulated leggings. Now here we have to give her 4 prowesses and then dex her so that plot armor is destroyed, and then with the SP2 we can deal her damage. Now remember, the plot armor for this fight is going to be a power rush, so her destructive timer, that is right there, the gray timer on the bottom right of Gwenmaster's health pool, is going to be reduced by 5 seconds, but you're gonna have 20% increased power rate. So you need to be intercepting a lot. Just use 3 hit combos and 4 hit combos and swipe back and retaliate right in. She's very aggressive, so most of the time you'll be able to easily intercept her and pause the timer. Now for this first phase, you need to remember that if you're not using a psychic immune champion, somebody like Professor X or Emma Frost with the Mysterio, then whenever Gwenpool is going to use a special, she is going to inverse your controls, and you need to be careful about that. Once you remember that, then all you need to do is to build up prowesses, and by building prowesses is you have to push her to an SP1 by dumping your power and not having any bar of power, and you can give her a prowess and you can just dex the SP1, but remember the inverted controls. Once you go through that phase, the next phase that is currently going on is going to be Killmonger's Royal Necklace. Now here there are going to be 50 counterpunch charges that you need to remove. Only use basic attacks and do not hit her in her block, and do not use special attacks, because when she uses an SP1 she gets reverberation like Killmonger, and if you use a special attack, that is all of the damage is given back to you. This is one of the easier phases. All you need to do is parry, use 5 hit combos, push to an SP1, and then use the same trick going again. Use some occasional intercepts in between, so like parry, use 4 hit combos, swipe back and then go back in, and with the combination of that you can easily finish off this phase. There's nothing too difficult about it, and once the counter punches are removed, she will get an SP2, and because the plot armor is removed, she will get the damage and will be just right there. Now next phase that starts right now is going to be Invisible Woman's Wedding Ring. Now you will see there's a large bubble around her. Now that is a shield, and it has some HP. So if you look at the bottom right of the HP bar of Gwenpool, there is a blue icon that has a number on it, like right now it's at 85. So the more you hit her, the more that is going to go down, and we need to destroy that shield. Now there are 2 ways to do this again. Either you bring in a psychic immune champion and you can ignore the invisibility, or bring a bleed champion and you can always use that bleed for her to remove her invisibility. If you do not have a bleed, you will notice right now as soon as she uses a special, I go back in, try to hit her with a medium attack and swipe back, that activates her invisibility and that takes it away. Now keeping that in mind, just easier way to deal with this path is to use your specials. The more special you use, the more damage you will do on that bubble, and you can easily finish off the bubble within the given timer. But still, every now and then do some intercepts so the timer can be extended, especially with this power rush node, and then the plot armor will be removed and you can do the damage to her again. After that, Karan is going to be Doom's favorite hoodie. Now you just have to knock her down in 4 different ways. So remember, whenever she will use an SP1, you will get a shock debuff on you, and if she uses a heavy attack during the shock, you are going to get stunned. Now you will notice here that I always go with heavy attack first, then SP1, SP2, and then into SP3, because whenever you knock down the champion once with a unique attack, you get an energize that increases your power gain by 45%. So heavy attack plus 45, so SP1 plus 45, SP2 plus 45, so it's very easy to get to an SP3. And you will also notice that almost died. That's why I bring in Heimdall, because he protects you from the death, and I am easily able to go through this phase and give her damage before I die off in the next one. That is going to be Arkus Retro Cape. Now with Arkus Retro Cape, you are going to get if you stay away from the defender, after 2 to 3 seconds you will get armor breaks on you. So you need to get 10 armor breaks on you and then knock down Gwenmaster to destroy that plot armor. So unfortunately I died with blade, so I'm gonna bring in a Black Widow Clairvoyant. So all I'm going to do is to manage the distances between us. So what I'm trying to do here, first I will try to get to an SP1 and push her to an SP1. Your best way is to drop in some intercepts and all make a distance when the opponent or you are using SP1 just right there. So again, I'm gonna push her to an SP1, and with the intercept the timer will be paused, and now I have my distance and I have an armor up. Same goes when she comes into, I'm going to use a special that is on a also create a distance, and again she's going to use an SP1. So like that, use the specials to your advantage and create those distance. Then every now and then throw an intercept in between so you can pause the timer, so you can easily get to 9 armor breaks, and then just use a heavy attack to knock her down or a special attack to knock her down, and that will destroy the plot armor, and right there she will use an SP2 and do some damage to herself. Next one is going to be the last one, that is going to be Iron Man's flashy Aviators. Now if you play this right, this is the fastest path, so all you need to do is to parry and 4 lights. Parry, light, 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 and you will destroy an armor from it. You have to destroy all of the armors for the plot armor to be destroyed, and then she can take damage to herself. Now if you're using an armor break champion, use that armor break, because that will pause her from getting armors and you don't have to deal with many armor ups on her. Once you have that down, after an SP2, she will damage herself again, and then you will go back to the first phase, that was Emma Frost's insulated leggings, and you just replay all of that until you kill her off. Now I know this is a lot of information, guys, and there's a lot going on here, but if you need a more detailed guide on it, I have done a 7.2.6 easy guide for completion, so just search that on YouTube or check it on the channel or check on the playlist, in which I have given a full breakdown of every path and as well as a big infographic for Gwenmaster fight. So you can use that or you can use this one as well, whichever is helpful for you. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video and you found the tips and tricks helpful. If you did, guys, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those post notifications. All of that really helps me out a lot, and thank you very much for helping reach 20,000 subscribers. It really means a lot. And apart from that, I hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time.